What up, boys, and welcome back to yet another video. So I've done a lot of tier lists for gold farming lately because you guys have a lot of great suggestions. So I've now done the best farms in classic TBC, Wrath of the Lich King, and also the best pet farms. And one that has been requested by a lot of people is a tier list on professions for gold making. I'm very excited about this one because I deal with professions way differently than a lot of people, so there's going to be a lot of people disagreeing on my choices on this tier list, and that always excites me. So before we take a look at that, massive thank you for all the support on the 0 to 10 million gold guide. This is a digital guide, which means you open it up on your computer, and it features all the best tactics and methods that I personally use in order to obtain hundreds of millions of gold. Even better is the fact that it comes with a lifetime of free updates, so you only got to get it once, and then whenever there's a new patch or even a brand new expansion like Midnight, I update the exact same gold guide with the new best methods, and I send that for free to your email. So you can find that link down below in the description. Don't forget to use the discount code STUDENT. That will give you the gold guide for 50% off. And yes, a lot of you guys already have the gold guide, and I really do appreciate that. So if you do, definitely make sure that you also check out the VIP Discord, because once you join in, you can view all of these videos before they go public on YouTube, giving you a slight advantage. You also get exclusive content in forms of gold tips, multiple spreadsheets for gold farming, TSM groups and operations. You can even get access to my investments that I'm doing ahead of player housing, upcoming patches and expansions, and much, much more. So that will also be linked down below in the description. But now we are going to take a look at this beautiful tier list. And note that I don't have gathering professions on this list because this is my tier list. And as mentioned, I do professions very differently than a lot of people. When it comes to all these professions right here, I don't use them for current content crafting. I never do. I wait until, like right now, when we're in the War Within, I'm doing Dragonflight crafts, and I wasn't doing a whole lot of Dragonflight crafts back in the days. But now that that's legacy content, I'm doing it because there's a good reason for it. Like, I have plenty of gold, and I don't enjoy sitting in a capital city spamming like shuffles and cancel scans on the auction house in order to get my stuff to sell. I prefer when it's legacy content, so I'm crafting something that I'm selling to collectors, because that's like posted on the auction house. If it doesn't sell, well, I'll repost it and hope that it sells the next time. And I do that on 5 different realms. So yeah, when I say that alchemy for me is a D tier profession, and it is, like, don't get mad at me because you're doing War Within craft and making a shit ton of gold with alchemy. But for me personally, and the way that I use alchemy, it's a D tier profession. I don't use it for much. It's mainly just to do like transmutes for like arcane crystals into arcanite and a true gold and titan steel, like stuff like that. So it's if I look at all these professions and how much gold I make on each of them weekly, crafting old content stuff, alchemy is not performing nearly as much as all the other ones. Blacksmithing is actually going to be the first S-tier profession. Now, I'm using blacksmithing to craft transmog items from every expansion up until Dragonflight, and I do that on 5 realms. And the reason why it's on S-tier is because it is my highest yielding overall profession for old content transmog amongst all of them. In general, there are exceptions, and I'm going to talk about that when I get to some of these other professions, but it is very good. And I think a good reason why it's so good is because not only are you crafting armor, but you're also crafting weapons, and there's a lot of weapons in the game that does really well. So blacksmithing, definitely high up on that list. Absolutely great profession to do for gold. Next one is enchanting, and enchanting in general, it's typically a very good profession. It's like very cyclical as well. Like sometimes there's going to be like a mage tower, or there's going to be a time walking event going on where people are just buying old enchants as well as new ones. But that now goes on the region-wide auction house, so you have to deal with a lot of competition selling it, and it's more like a scale thingy. I don't use enchanting for that. I am making a very decent amount of gold with enchanting by crafting transmog items. Because yes, you can actually craft transmog items with it as well, but like I make a lot of gold with these professions, but enchanting isn't near any of them, any of the other ones when it comes to gold. So it's going to be a C tier profession for me. But I understand that if I used it differently, like a lot of other people are using it, it would have been way more of my total income. But it isn't. Engineering, like when people think about transmog crafting for gold, they typically think of blacksmithing, leatherworking, and tailoring. That's like the trinity. So on a lot of realms, you'd be surprised of how much gold you can make with engineering. Not only are you crafting transmog items like goggles and weapons and stuff like that, but you're also crafting mounts, and depending on the realm, engineering can be insane profit. But on some realms, the mounts aren't that good. So I'm not making as much as blacksmithing usually. There is actually 2 out of 5 realms where engineering lately has outperformed blacksmithing because I've made so much gold and I don't have as much competition. That's like the main thing. There's way more people doing blacksmithing than there is people doing engineering. But it's an A-tier profession. It's very, very good. Inscription is going to have to be a C tier. No, it's a tough one. It's going to be a C tier. I don't use Inscription to do anything besides from like craft offhands and staffs and stuff like that. And like there's very few people doing it. But there just isn't enough items, and they don't have enough like a good enough price to make like insane gold to compete with these other professions, but it's generating a lot of sales, and the profit margin is really, really good on Inscription, which kind of puts me in a pickle because I make way more gold with Inscription. It's gonna have to be a B tier in this case. Yeah, I make way more gold with Inscription than I do with Enchanting, so for that reason alone, it's gonna be a B tier. Jewel crafting is the same. I don't use jewel crafting to craft like actual gems, just transmog items, and that's pretty much on par with enchanting. It used to be a B tier because some of the designs for item crafts have now been made much easier to obtain, but there's not a lot of competition on jewel crafting either, so it tends to be good. Now, leatherworking, it's an absolute banger. It is a very good profession. There's a lot of competition on it. A lot of people are doing it as a part of the Trinity. It's going to have to be an A tier. I don't make as much gold with leatherworking as I do with blacksmithing, so that's the reason why it's an A tier. Tailoring is also going to be an A tier profession, and for the same reason as leatherworking, it's a very good profession. You're getting a lot of sales on it. I would argue to say that tailoring is probably the best professions in the game to begin with. Even as like a general profession, because if you look at the war within now, tailoring is one of the most steadiest way in the game to make gold. You have tailoring so that you can get more cloth, and then you do follower dungeons. You can do old content as well, like Dragonflight dungeons with tailoring to get a lot of like a good chunk of steady gold. In terms of crafting, which is what we're talking about in this video, tailoring is the cheapest profession out of the bunch to level up, because you can just do it with bandages. It has the lowest cost of crafts, like across the board. Like there's a lot of cheap crafts with tailoring, and it typically gives you the most amount of sales because you can craft old content bags. You'd be surprised of how well they sell. You can craft a lot of shirts, and there's a lot of like miscellaneous items, like tuxedo sets and other like seasonal sets that sells really fast with the tailoring. But overall, in terms of gold made, it doesn't get up to blacksmithing, but it's a very, very good profession to do. So that is my judgment of the best and the worst professions for me personally. Don't be mad at me. This is just my opinion. Your opinion could be, you could flip this upside down probably in your case. I don't care. This is my tier list, not yours. So that's pretty much it. If you guys got any suggestions on what I should do next for my next tier list, please let me know down below in the comments section what you want me to rank next. And subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and you'll be notified when those videos come. And of course, also don't forget to check out both the VIP Discord and also the 0 to 10 million gold guide. Both linked down below. I appreciate you all watching, and I will see you all back in at tomorrow's video. But until then, bye bye.